I ask you to see beyond your prejudices and your anger and this technology that presents me to you, and see who I really am in my sincerity. This is how the book starts. And the cover that has fallen off has revealed the red cover. This book testifies against itself by saying red is the principle of evil and it has an eye. Well, whose perspective is it? Is this a good-looking person or is it a feminist type person? Was Paul Ham a homosexual perhaps? Maybe, maybe not, don't know. Veronica Ions. The ions, right? The eye on you. Whose eye is it? Is it some Medusa, some figure similar to Medusa? For generations, righteous people have been screened out. And I implore you, it behooves you to look at this thing with your heart, the seat of intelligence. What good is all the research in the world and all the valid sources if you cannot use divine insight from your heart to see the truth? In the flesh, I won't always be with you. And then what will happen? Regardless of my imperfections, and they're there. There aren't very many people like me these days, and the end is certainly coming. I was tempted to destroy the cross, metaphorically speaking, and say that God rejects you all. But I hope to rescue the lost sheep as a good shepherd. Not the great shepherd, but as a good shepherd once I shed my clothes and become one with God and become the true Pharaoh that I am. Are we to ignore generations of chivalrous men who died standing for what is right, because now the weather blows in Set's favor, with his evil eye always watching? The eye of Sauron. What does it mean that women are now reproducing with the enemy in a kind of Count Dracula dragon spirit, where they're pretty like a vampire prince and his wife? Instead of being gothic, they understand the times and they adjust it using Circe or sorcery, alchemy, chemistry, chemists, men. Do not forget these names. Even if I went on and on about them screening out the righteous and them using drugs to do it, you should understand that. Number one, the people who support mental health do not know what they're talking about. How could they? Number two, it is established thoroughly, even by psychiatrists themselves, that psychiatry is a fraud and that the CIA uses it as a front to control the social order, using mind control, military mind control, behavior modification, operant conditioning, and other forms of unscrupulous and deplorable means of social control. So let me now read 4 or 5 pages, maybe 6, that I've written for you. And keep in mind that I am the Pharaoh. I truly walk in the light. I am not trying to con you. I am here miserable. I made all these videos from my parents' house in this room. It doesn't exactly glorify me, and I'm not exactly a celebrity. And I will probably die before this thing ever comes out. And when it does, listen to what I say. Am I not correct? Am I not in the spirit? Am I not the martial artist I say that I am? The light temple artist, not Ares or Mars, but more like Haru and Jesus. Jah says. A true man of Eri, a true prince of Eri. I love my ancestors, and I love all of mankind. And I apologize if you think that I'm racist or that I'm offending your race. It is hard for even someone as insightful as myself to get over the fact that pedophiles and chemists are raping and murdering our women and children with impunity. It is impossible to forget when jackals and vipers are picking on injured baby hawks injured baby lambs. It is impossible to forget the injustice and the horror. The woman of the 7 churches, in your warmth and pleasant voice, you too are lukewarm. I require obedience to the Lake Skywalker. Popular culture testifies against America that she knows better. You are the new Babylon, you who kill African martial artists and your sister continent. How can you reject the spirit of African light temple martial arts in Ham, Shem, Cush, and Nimrod and claim to be the new Egypt or even a decent Babylon? I come to you in the form of Ham, Shem, and Japheth. You would have rejected Noah himself. Your cold dye, A, has melted, and I do not know you. You're Chaldean. Your women choose cowards and drug-using bodybuilders who play tough. The Lord has inspired me to say that He is the Lord. I am the Lord, His words. And you mock my wrath, my soul, air, my spirit. You do not believe. You worship your belly and Western psychology. Would you treat me this way in the wild, in the lion's den as an individual? You less than worms must face multitudes of hawks alone. Farewell, says your judge, Pharaoh Chukwu Emeka. In this spirit, you may rush the guards of heaven as you judge it okay to gang up on my children. As a spiritual worm, those who defy God may rush the multitudes of hawks to see which one of us kills you first. You like to make things a game and a sport. You like to do things in a way that is unfair and hurtful. You like to make people feel alone and singled out. You too should be judged in this manner. I am not Jesus, but I am Chukwu Amaka. I feel Elijah's spirit. I feel the Lord's spirit. And I tell you the truth. Look at you now, with all due respect. Effeminate, man is emulating women. Women emulating men. False racial pride having people. Greedy, cowards, and those who make other pathetic excuses to defy my logos and lay with my enemies. Now you are cut off, and as a thief in the night, Jesus will return in spirit. Elijah, the agile hawk, the agile leopard, and Jesus, a lion, and not a mason of Judah, a lion and not a scientist of Judah, a lion, not an imposter pagan mystery dog who missed the leopard leopard of Eri. He is the stone that the builder has rejected and not the builder. There is no place in nature for those people who try to train or interfere with Pharaoh, and also for the unnatural. There is no place. There is no place in the supernatural for these and those who cannot change to spirit. They did not allow me to spread the spirit with their metempsychosis philosophies, those hypocrites indeed, and they drugged me toward it, and not drug-free naturally, moving toward it so I can become one with it and relay the message perfectly to you. The spirit versus sapiosexual, or sap, the eye, the heart, the perspective, the circle, the sun, the reproductive cycle for sexual reasons, sexual. Grace and guidance in motion and a full state. Fulfilled pure water and casing. It is not a gay or feminine energy, but a spirit of light triggering truth in a characteristically melanated and black African manner. Now, for the lack of a better, simple explanation for those who are struggling to catch up, I explain it this way. Now, I do not believe that the black man has a monopoly on the Spirit of God. But I do believe that he is the greatest embodiment at this point, and it does not seem like that will ever change based on the trajectory. And he, in his pure form, is of black Pharaoh, and not a common black man, not the descendant of slaves and criminals. With all due respect, I love all people, but this is how it is. It does not share power, and it is always mostly found in one man. The ideal vessel I have found is a tall, athletic, yet thin, characteristically Zulu in the movie, kind of Shaka Zulu kind of build, black African man with generations of relatively poor African village life told in his being. The element of royal blood, whether realized or not, is also key, and Igbo is the greatest embodiment that I have found. However, with the jealous world against me, this one tribe, against me and this one tribe, it is impossible for even a common, honest man to expect the spirit anywhere ever again. Certainly, white, in their move for white power, gays in the closet or otherwise, and feminists will never have it in all truth. You do not get a group blessing after seeking it, especially from an all-knowing, all-powerful, and all-good God. Again, I'm not racist. Heed my words. Through God, all things are possible. But we cannot expect these things by behaving this way. You do not evolve to have wings over generations by behaving like a serpent. The world is infested with a selfish, Western, pagan, secret society, lustful cult spirit that fills all races with weakness. Psychology is a joke compared to the spirit. If I, as a mixed man, were to lie or pretend what they are doing doesn't offend me, then what can you? Then how can you fly if you are not a hawk? Do you have wings overnight in evolution? Again, I ask you this. Certainly you all see it my way, and God cannot sincerely reward those benefiting from scientific covert ops. If you are setting the stage for your people to achieve the spirit, and you're blocking it from other people to put them beneath you, certainly God does not approve. He wants all people to have a fair chance to achieve their place in the divine order. A spiritual mark on all those who reject God is visible to the careful observer. The temple of Amen, Ra, and Haru certainly agreed that humility and that even the Pharaoh serves God is part of the divine process of getting to where you want to go. To achieve your mark, not to receive the mark of the beast. Hit the mark of the beast with the arrow, with the spirit in the eye. Arrow chuku, the sword of scripture, the spirit. The temple, even Jesus prayed to God. Do you think it does not hurt me to say this? More so than a beautiful group of women sleeping with scientists, mocking the righteous, the wolf, the jackal, the black and darkened panther move against me for the ancient serpent Apep. Even those in my extended family. Narmer wanted all to see his war was not racial, but the principle of good versus evil as he conquered Set's followers. It was their reproductive activities that made them spiritual ground crawlers, that allowed him to brain them. They seem to have successfully made it about race secretly and not just in the left-right cult Hegelian dialect paradigm. Since the attributes of a masculine martial arts pharaoh is where it hurts, I hit those spandex-wearing con artists, Marvel tights, men in tights, Star Wars, pederasty, con artists, thieving, Spartan traitors where it hurts. Their funny-style Judeo-British ruler asks where it hurts. But to tell the truth, where it is missing, is mostly why I do this. The main reason, the mane of the Lion of Judah, the hair. Thank you.